Before we start our journey, I feel a little bit anxious. I'm just ready to get started. I think about all these things that are going to come up, but what ends up happening is different from how you see it or how you plan it, but it's the anticipation of the excitement that you're about to go through.
There's so much anxiety, but it's just positive anxiety. When you're on the road and you're headed a direction that you've never been before, to a place you've never seen, you don't know what's going to happen along the way. So it's less about being excited about the destination, it's more just like the journey. I'm Ariel.
And I'm Justin, and we're the founders of Wild We Wander. We are a traveling duo that lives and works from the road in our 22-foot Airstream, and our goal is to educate and inspire people to live an alternative lifestyle.
We're really excited this week to have our good friend Jesse out on the road with us for the next 9 days, exploring the Pacific Northwest.
What's up? It's Jesse here. I can't wait to join Justin and Ariel to document life on the road. But the real challenge now is consolidating all this down into 2 bags. Can't wait to meet you guys out west.
My favorite part about camping is being outside. I just feel this real connection with nature when I'm outside, especially when it's quiet. That's why we like to seek out more secluded places.
Is this the actual trail?
Don't do anything stupid. Oh shit!
Did you get that? Raw power of the earth! Look at this guy, he's got an umbrella under a waterfall.
One of my favorite things about traveling and being on the road are these things, these unexpected moments. They're really kind of magical to me. Whether you wake up and it's snowing outside in June, or you come across this art installation in the middle of the desert, those are the moments. Those are why I'm out here. It's the little things that make this whole journey magical.
I can hit Jesse from here with this.
What happened?
This has never happened, but everything fell out of the cabinet in the bathroom because the road was so bumpy.
Oh my God.
Oh.
This thing had some air there for a minute too. With anything that's spontaneous, sometimes it can be a positive spontaneous thing, or it could be something that's negative. And frustrations happen often, and you have to find a way of making sure that those frustrations don't get you out of your head and get you out of your mindset, because you can't control the situation, so you just need to find a way to get through it the best way possible.
So I just finished putting the bathroom back together. We came to a dead end in the road on our way to Hood River because we didn't pay attention to the signs that the road was closed. And we drove about 20 miles up a really sketchy, windy road that probably broke a few things on the outside of the trailer, we'll find out. And it just opened all of the cabinets, which I've never seen before.
And the road is awful. There's like, we had sparks come up at one point from the edge. Okay.
So now we gotta figure out a new route.
which means we got to go all the way back the way we just came.
Our journey started a few years ago with the purchase of a 1973 wood Roadrunner camper, and we had this intention of remodeling it and making it our dream tiny home on wheels that could take us on these different adventures and new experiences. And we really took on way more than we could manage ourselves. I think we were both a little naive, we were really excited, and we had the right mindset, and we had this goal of being able to travel and even work at the same time, make it sustainable. But that project, it just had roadblock after roadblock, and you feel like you're taking one step forward and then 2 steps back. We worked on it ourselves for the first 6 months, thought it was out of our hands, we were ready to give up on it, and then we found a glitter of hope of somebody who might be able to help us finish this. And then the project, really what that ended up doing was we just ended up elongating it to a 1.5-year project that was full of hemorrhaging money, going through different roadblocks of projects that we hadn't worked on before, and it really just almost came to a breaking point.
So while we were going through that camper renovation, I fell rock climbing and broke my ankle and had to have surgery. And this was the time we were going out every weekend or every other weekend to work on the camper. And essentially that injury immobilized me for about 2 months. Justin finally got me out of the house to go camping with our truck camper, but that was just a really hard time. And my brother died that same summer. So that was just a real test of resilience. It was a really strong point in our relationship because he pulled me through that.
We would feed off of each other. One day one of us would be at our low point, the other one would bring the other one out of it, and vice versa. So I think it was having somebody there who can somewhat pick you up when you're not in the right mindset, making sure that you are surrounding yourself with energy that you can feed off of and keep your head in the game. We wanted to travel in something that we knew that we could trust, that wouldn't fall apart. We had already been in a project that was falling apart and not coming together for years, and the couple that we purchased the camper from, we saw them renovating an Airstream, and when we saw their Airstream, we really fell in love. We always loved the idea of having an Airstream, but we never really thought about getting one. And the one that we found looked exactly, the interior was the exact layout of the camper that we were renovating. It had the bathroom at the back, it had the kitchen and the living room in the middle, and then it had the bedroom on the end. So when we went inside, it was almost like we were walking into the finished version of the camper that we were trying to complete in the first place. And when we saw it, we were able to see all these different ways that we can make it homey. We were able to put our personal touches on it that made the place feel like our own.
Though that summer was like I could call it one of the worst summers of my life, it was one of the most growth, I think, for me. And it really makes me appreciate the lifestyle we're living right now 1,000,000 times more than I ever could have.
When you're on the road, anything can happen. Even in this week that I've spent with Justin and Ariel, we've had a number of occurrences that really could have changed the outcome of the trip. I think what's important is when those derailments happen, just sort of collecting yourself and looking around. Like an example of this, we got stuck on the side of the road and then walked down to this beautiful waterfall that we wouldn't have seen had we not just taken a minute and reassess the situation. And sometimes you just need to breathe when that stuff happens and keep a positive attitude, and that's what'll pull you through.
Yeah, no drag either, look at that. Wow, well that's good for the,
The most rewarding experience about traveling constantly is that you end up coming to destinations that you didn't plan, or maybe you wouldn't have otherwise come to, because maybe it's along the route, different towns, different cities, different remote destinations, maybe different landmarks or monuments.
So each town has its own heartbeat. in a way. And I like to think of them as little treasure troves where you can go in and find like those really nice restaurants or those really cool shops.
So some of the best recommendations of places to see and things to do don't come from Google. We use our phones so much to search for what to do in an area, but just go talk to people, go talk to locals. Like that is where the real gems are.
I'm getting 2 bundles and then a thing of kindling. Water's on.
This thing looks so goofy, but it's so needed. So we got potables, power, and poop.
And the last time we had water and electricity like this was Fort Worth, Texas, before we went through Colorado, up through Idaho to Washington. So I'm looking forward to being able to have full hookups with this tonight. The beauty of camping is that every spot is different. Maybe you have a fire pit at one, maybe you have a picnic table, and every time you pull in, it's almost like you're setting up a temporary residence. And I thrive on that. I get so excited about pulling into a new location, looking at what the surroundings have to offer in our spot, and how can we make this ours for the next couple of days. How about now?
You gotta come down a lot more.
Okay.
Come down another like 2 pumps.
That was 3.
Okay, I think that's good.
1 for good luck. Having a campfire is an integral part of what it means to go camping. The first thing that I do whenever I get to a camping spot is I go off into the forest and I look for wood that I can bring back so that I can start a fire. This way, not only will we have warmth, because at nighttime it gets pretty cold, maybe you want to have some form of entertainment, and for us, we try to have a fire as often as possible.
Hand in hand with that comes cooking. I love cooking, but I love even more cooking over a campfire. The fire is wild. You can't really control the temperature exactly how you can like in the Airstream, but I have more space. It's more fun just to be able to be outside while I'm cooking. So that's something I enjoy and try to do everywhere we go. It's especially fun when we have other people with us. You kind of get mesmerized by the fire, and it creates this sense of community and openness. I'm sure people watching have had this experience. You're sitting around a fire and you just kind of talk very openly. It's a beautiful thing.
Oh, you're good. Oh, careful. Don't rotate it. Nope. That's it. That's your exit. You can roast a little bit, but careful. Right. If the underside catches your darker. That is a beautiful thing. Look at that. Wow.
I don't want to. Oh. Oh. There was one in Pensacola. We got kicked out of it. We got kicked out at like 12 in the morning. And then we went to the Navarre Beach Walmart, which is amazing because it's like 2 miles from the beach. One thing that's in the back of my mind though, as we're traveling, is making sure that we have a wireless connection. That's the biggest thing for me. Thinking in the back of my mind, what projects am I working on? Where am I going to be able to find connection where I can do work? And if I don't have connection, what work can I be doing? So making sure that I have projects and initiatives that I can be working on no matter the situation that I'm in. So being prepared on that side makes the spontaneousness of the trip that much more exciting. The best part about working while traveling for me is that I'm able to get a lot more done. When you're working remotely and you're traveling, you're in different locations, which means that you're having different experiences, and that really just gets more creative energy flowing. I have more time to be able to devote to the work that I'm doing, uninterrupted time, which is more important. And when you put all those things together, you produce the best work possible, in my opinion. The best locations for me are a national forest that has cell reception, so then we can pull that through to the MiFi. Sometimes you could even use a cell phone booster if the signal's a little weak. But if you're able to get to a spot where you can pull your unit in, and then you have a fire pit with a picnic table around, you can set up the whole area and make it even more homey and stay there for a couple of days. That is really helpful for me because then I can really just get a lot of work done with the area without having to focus on moving. We weren't interested with just doing this lifestyle for 6 months or even a year, not taking time off. We wanted to do this lifestyle and make it something that would be sustainable, something that we could just do this as long as we want. And that's probably one of the most important things as we travel, is holding ourselves accountable to the work that we're producing, making sure that our jobs can trust us and see us as a valuable contributor, because ultimately, if we are able to provide value, that's what's going to keep this lifestyle sustainable. Seems pretty cool.
In a state forest?
Yeah, we're like right next to this one. Saddle Mountain is 3,294 feet.
Justin's doing stuff in the kitchen.
Oh my God. And look at this, we're hooked up to water right now, so we can just let it run.
It's like a party.
It's like a party. It's exciting.
I have this new appreciation for working outside the office and just going to places that inspire you and working there. That inspiration will come through in your work. So, work from anywhere really, and not just get tied down to my apartment or the office or even a coffee shop. Just trying to get out to unfamiliar places and work from there, because I think it can be really inspirational and help drive your creative process.
Achieving anything that really means something to you is going to take time. It's going to take patience. There's going to be different challenges and roadblocks that are going to come. A lot of times you'll think you're taking one step forward and you'll feel like taking 2 steps back. But the way that you're going to get through that is just keeping a positive disposition through all of it and being open to opportunities that come along the way, because you can't control the outcome. You rarely can control the outcome. You can, however, control your effort and what you put into it. It's important to really follow through with what's meaningful to you, and that's what life's about.
So through our story, I'm really hoping that people are able to find hope. Really, the underlying message that we're trying to give you is that always keep making steps towards what really makes you feel fulfilled, no matter what roadblocks you come across, because we've come across many, and we are here today doing something we love. Life on the road has taught me that life is not about the end goal or the destination. It's about these little moments, these realities of life, the joy, the fear, the frustration, the love and the sadness. Like, all of it combined is what makes a beautiful journey.
One road to take, one life to live.